Welcome back, everybody, to the Angel Edition of Rewatchers Council. Snark here with you, with me, and, by way of me, also you, I guess, as well. Brendan Mars with us. Brendan, how are you, pal?
I'm good. Let's do this.
Very, oh my goodness gracious. All right, if you say so. Now, we're going to be talking about Season 1, Episode 9, Hero. All right. Its original air date, November 30th, 1999. Written by Tim Minear. This is the second of 18 episodes he ends up writing for this program. His last one, of course, Sense and Sensitivity, not great. Not great. He co-wrote this one with Howard Gordon. He was going to write two more Angel episodes himself. He also co-wrote What's My Line Part 1 over on Buffy. So that's good. I like that episode. I also, spoiler, like this episode quite a lot as well. Now, it's directed by Tucker Gates. His only Angel episode. He's also only directed one Buffy episode, and that was Fear itself. All right. Guest star alert time. First, we'll talk about Sean Gunn. Sean Gunn played Lucas in this particular episode. He was the
Nice.
fellow Bracken demon that tried to convince Doyle that even if he doesn't believe in their common family, he can believe that they share a common enemy. For
hmm
as, for as much good as that ends up doing him. You know what I mean? Now, don't worry, because you get to see Sean Gunn again at some point here in the near future on Angel. It's a good thing about wearing a lot of makeup. You can keep getting hired back. Uh,
It's
and
The Star Trek principle.
you got that right. Now, I guess we have to talk about David Quinn, seeing how this is his run as Doyle is going to end in this episode.
Mm.
Now, I guess I don't know if it was during the time of Roseanne or following it. He unfortunately became an addict. He had dealt with substance abuse problems for quite some time leading up to his time here on Angel. He slipped in and out of sobriety. At one point, he owned or co-owned like a James Bond themed bar in LA called Goldfingers. Not the best when you're when you're struggling with sobriety of any type to be involved in the alcohol or whatever business. Lots of temptation to that. He's going to, unfortunately, after this, pass away shortly afterwards in 2002. Only 32 years of age. He did it at a friend's home. He had gone through all of his money, the Roseanne money, the Angel money, everything he had. I guess he was kind of couch surfing by the end, which is awful, awful. Yeah, tough to deal with. At 32, so young, and he had such a, and everyone, like they keep saying, everybody absolutely loved this guy. Like David Boreanaz still mentions him all the time. They only worked together for 9 episodes. Like he was,
Yeah.
in all accounts, a very good dude. Just had a problem that he just couldn't fix, which sucks. Now I've been trying to find the definitive reason for why he had to leave the show. There's three common. They can all be true. I don't know if you have to take your pick or if it could be a mixture of all three as well. First of all, of course, is addiction. Heroin's awful. It's awful for what it does to you, the people
hmm
around you, and stuff like that. It's a terrible, terrible drug. This was brought up by Tim Minear because who wrote this episode, he said that his addiction had become a problem on set.
Yeah.
It's the company line that he had. As you know, the guy who created the show always had this one idea of always ending a character, like a top character of the show, surprising, whatever. Keep the audience a little off guard. He wanted to do that. He wanted to include, if you go back to the first episode of Buffy, Welcome to Hellmouth, he wanted to have Jesse on there. What's his name? Eric Balk in the credits. And as spoiler alert, if you've never seen the first episode of Buffy, yeah, he gets turned into a vampire. He gets killed in the second episode. So at this point, you're not making the kind of money that we can just have them swapped in and out and stuff like that. So he didn't get his shot with that. So yeah, he got his chance with this one. So supposedly, according to the guy who created it, this was always the plan for for uh, for Glenn Quinn's character here and stuff like that. But also, the character, they say, could have just outgrown its usefulness. I want to push back against that one a little bit. I could merit that. Like, with the first 4 episodes, did you really need him in this at all? All he did ever was exposition. Keep talking about how, about what Angel is and what happened with Buffy, and then him coming to. That's all he ever did was exposition. Really didn't need it. But over the last few episodes, you'll look at Bachelor Party. I really liked him in that. Room with the View, when Cordy gets her apartment, and he's a big thing of that. This all works this episode. He was great in this episode. But of course, the idea to get rid of him was already done and stuff like that. You know, it gets to a point now, and they finally put Cordy and him together in this one.
Yep.
It would have been interesting to see how Cordelia Chase deals with dating a half demon. I think that was a missed opportunity that they could have had. But it could be a mixture of all three of these things. Unfortunately for David Quinn, it doesn't work out. He doesn't ever come back on the show. This will be it for him. His character is sort of brought in later. We'll talk about that in a future episode. There's also an idea floating around, of course, before he tragically passes away, of having come back as a big bad, which would have been something. Would have been something. Now,
Indeed.
none of this happens. They don't really even have a big bad for this whole first season, which still drives me nuts. Anyways, we're gonna go on now to the episode proper, because it's a very good episode. I'll say it's really enjoyable.
It is, yes.
Starting off with Cordy's vision of what an advertisement for Angel Investigation would look like. Of course, she's gonna cast herself, and a young upcoming starlet, star potential. You know what I mean? Angel's not having any of this. Gives her props for trying. It's called the Dark Avenger in this one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, if you watch the first couple episodes of Angel, where he's more Batman than anything else, it's like, okay, I can get the Dark Avenger thing. But after that, no, this is just Angel. It doesn't really work. Anyways, Doyle's going to bring up 2 good points here to Cordelia. It says their investigator can't be in the sunshine, and also, doesn't have a license. So I don't know why they'd be making an advertisement for it. Also, why can't someone just but of the 3 of them get a license? I know maybe there's reasons why Angel can't. He obviously can't have his picture taken. That's a big
Yeah.
reason why you can't have an investigating your license. But why not one of the others, like either him or Cordelia? Why don't they just have just say like they're the investigator and stuff like that, but it's actually Angel who does it all. I don't know. Anyways, Cordy then decides, well, we're gonna have to switch things up here. We're gonna have an everyman for the advertisement instead. She says just an average run-of-the-mill guy. So of course Doyle's going to be perfect. There's nothing above average or anything about Doyle. He's not into it at all. But unfortunately for him, this isn't a negotiation. This is something he's going to have to do. So he does this he tries to do his best. He does the whole rats are low things that are rates are low. He tries to say that it's spelled rats. You know how many times I paused on when they had like the words in behind Cordelia here, like the script. I kept trying to find it where it says rats, but she's behind in front of it the entire time. She turns at one point and her shoulders blocking, and it drives you mad. It's like I wonder if they actually did write rats on this thing. Anyways, uh, you know, she's wondering how they start going on about how he's more weasel than every man, which isn't great. And then she's puzzled how Angel's heart can break because they're talking about Angel and how he's more moody now than usual. How can he break if his heart doesn't even beat? Which is unfair.
Yeah.
I would say she brings up maybe Angel wearing a costume.
Oh,
You know,
nice.
Doyle tries to cheer her up here first. He starts with connect. They start with connecting over X's, and then Angel tells him what actually happened when Buffy showed up. Doyle, of course, doesn't remember taking him to the netherworld of eternal watching. That's what
Ooh.
they call. That's what they call it. The oracles are at the netherworld of eternal watching. Angel's going to finish by telling Doyle that he and Buffy only belong to the world fighting. Like,
Oh.
all right, pal. Okay. Doyle questions why he'd give up the only thing he ever wanted, and says he would have chosen his own pleasure first of all. Like it's not even a debate. And then Angel tells him, "You never know until tested." I wonder if this is going to come up later. I
Yeah,
mean,
maybe.
it very well might. Doyle also mentions how he still hasn't told Cordy that he's a little bit of a half demon living inside him, stuff like that.
Hmm.
And then Angel then tells him that the oracles told him about the armies of darkness coming, and that the fight's going to be on here pretty soon. Uh, Doyle says, "You do the fighting, I'll keep score," which is smart. Why get involved?
Mm-hmm.
Why get involved? Doyle then tells Cordy all this stuff. She's a little pissed that he didn't get lotto numbers when he had the chance. Really, didn't really have much of a, says it's going to happen here pretty soon. He only gets back to Buffy to talk for like 2 minutes, and then back to normal. Then she says that they shouldn't be keeping secrets from each other. Oh boy, they have a little brief moment here, a little hand touchy over a napkin. Then he starts talking about Harry, which isn't great. He says he needs to carry on. Put it behind him. You got to carry on. Cordy's starting to seem a little interested in him over this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he tells him he should put some cards on the table. You know, he's about to spill the beans about his lineage when a vision hits. You get to see. It looks like some demonic people trapped somewhere, scared, frightened. You know what I mean? She's curious. She asked him if whoever she saw or whoever he saw would they be able to pay this time. Well, she's all about
Mm.
got to get those bills paid. And I don't blame her. Being a hero is a minimum wage job. It seems at best. Now we're gonna cut to a frightened girl in an alley. She trips, of course. The old trope. You know,
Oh, yes.
people who are scared always trip. A young kid now is gonna grab her and quiets her up, and they hide as these troop-looking fellas start running by. This is in downtown Los Angeles, by the way, somewhere. Angel and Doyle now search an abandoned building to find where all these demons were hiding. They find a recently vacated place. They can tell because all the food is still warm, for goodness sakes. There's a trap door on the floor. And then they open it up and they see those people that Doyle had been seeing visions about. Turns out these guys had paid a man to ship them to South America, to a place called Briol, which
Mm.
is off the coast of Ecuador. I never checked to see if Briol is a real place, but I imagine it could be. Why not? Turns out they were scammed though. They saying there's a sanctuary at this place. People like them. Then that kid or whatever comes, that's quite up to girl because he's part of that group. Guess what? Oh yeah, this kid has an attitude.
Ah, yes, he does.
Ugh. Then they call Angel the Promised One. Another title for Angel. Angel says, nope, not the Promised One. Lead guy here is disagreeing. Nope. He says the cryptics are clear, as all cryptics are, that the Promised One will appear before the end of the century to save them from the Scourge.
Yep.
Now, I guess the kid's name is Reef. Well, okay. And he starts whining about there's no promise, guys. They'll stop them, and they're all gonna be dead soon. Oh, real downer, a real downer. This kid. And then he dramatically walks off. Like he would make Oz proud with the level of walk off he just did.
Mm.
Yeah, he knows Doyle knows the Scourge. It turns out, and he knows that they are death. So we're gonna get a little flashback here. This is the one with Lucas that I brought up before, Sean Gunn, telling them how the Scourge has been after these guys. Their entire clans come all the way from Oregon, for goodness sake.
Mm.
I guess that the Scourge, to make another uh, Harry Potter reference today. It turns out that I said they're a lot like Death Eaters.
Ah.
I said they don't like half bloods at all. So
Mud
some
bullets.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Oh, I didn't want to say the words. Anyways, some fight them, some even get killed, but they're true believers, these guys. They're ready to die for the cause, which isn't great. Doyle didn't help Lucas here, and he's it's kind of that telling him he won't die to take a chance on them, which is pretty rude.
Hmm.
Lucas now leaves after giving a well deserved guilt trip. Doyle was just getting used to who he was, he says. He's just found out that he can grow spikes out of his face. You know what I mean? That's when we first get the visions now. He gets, seeing people of his kind in pain. And then he starts searching it out. I still don't understand how the visions lead them right to where these people are all the time. You just see
Hmm.
visions of people, but luckily for the stories, they take him there pretty easily. Anyways, he searches the place out. He finds all of these dead bodies, of course, including Lucas's. And he goes back to the present day. Tells Angel there's no fighting the Scourge. And Angel tells him he'll get them out of here. So Cordy comes by in a cube van of all things, for a place that has no money. They're able to rent things in the middle of the night, no problem. She goes in the building, calls out for Angel. Then the lead guy steps out, spooking her here. It's like, what? You understand that there's people chasing after you to hurt you and stuff like that, and she knows this. And she starts, calling out for Angel. Just say hi. Say something first instead of just reaching out in the darkness and the silence. Especially when may look a little different
Hmm.
than her. Almost when I first saw these guys, I thought they were looked a little Kardashian-y. I don't know what you thought, Brendan.
Oh, nice. Yes.
Just with the not none of the neck things or whatever, but they had it in the eyes a little bit here. Anyways, she starts spraying wintergreen breath mint at them. Surprisingly, it doesn't keep them at bay. Anyways, she asks Doyle if he noticed that the people here are demons. He says he did, and he doesn't. It doesn't make them bad people. She gives him the anti-darkness rundown. Once again, he tells her then they're not evil. They're just in trouble. Then tells him where to go to find a captain that owes Angel, and he's going to give them passage. I'm going to get these guys out of here one way or another. Cordy's mad that they get a cruise paid for by Angel Investigations. So I don't know. I don't know why she would think there would be a cruise waiting for them in the middle of the night. But anyways, Doyle finally convinces her to go. He knows that bad things are coming. So Angel convinces the dock master now to look the other way when it comes to his phony documents under fear of blood drainage. This is something that Angel probably hasn't done enough. It might be a bluff to use the old vampire stuff or whatever against somebody and stuff like that. It seems to work quite easily. Anyways, in the meantime, Reefa's run off. You know, surprise, surprise. He thinks that they're all going to be killed. Doyle gets to him, tells him to go to Cordy. He tells Cordy he's going to go get him. I should say, excuse me. He's going to find Reef really easily, with Buffy finding Spike in 2 seconds
Yeah,
after
it's right there.
He's like, oh, there's something weirder gonna go on in a little bit in this episode. Anyways,
Yeah.
he tells Doyle he can't make him go. Turns out this kid's old enough. Kid's acting like he's 13, but I guess he's of age somehow. He says, Doyle can't relate because he can pass as human. Then gives a sob story about, how his mother took him out one day. It was Halloween. All right. He thinks that anywhere he goes, he's going to be hated, and he knows that the Scourge are coming back. Doyle's going to vouch for Angel here, though, and then give him shit for not having any belief at all. Doyle's seen what happens when you don't have belief. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
dies, it seems. He tells him it never works from personal experience. You've seen what happens if you don't believe. And Reef then argues, or then just agrees to go with him. Like all he had to do was say that is, just have belief. And it's like, oh, okay, I'll have belief. I'll go with you. It's so strange, so strange. Anyways, Cordelia is going to meet with the captain of the ship and his first officer. Sees the cargo hold the people will be staying in. Captain agrees to give them some blankets, which is nice. I don't know how or why he'd have all these blankets. Cordy says they're going to take it. Doyle and Reef are now returning from the Scourge. The Scourge, turns out, look like a pretty evil bunch from, say, the 30s to the mid 40s
Yeah.
over there in Germany, if you know what I mean.
Indeed.
Also, it sure looks to me like those are those same football face dudes from that Hell Dimension in Anne, the one where the time kind of stands still.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they look very similar, if not the exact same ones. Anyways, they're burning things down and knocking things over. They're being a real bunch of jerks. You know what I mean? Down this alleyway or this dark street or something like that. Doyle and Reef are gonna hide in this shop front. Doyle tells the kid to wait there. He's gonna go spiky and he's gonna go chase these guys, get these guys away from Reef. He's gonna do some protecting now. He's gonna be a hero. Now he goes out, does a little circle around in a spot, has all of them, the entire lot, it seems, chase them. And then he gets pulled into another doorway. Somehow Angel was just there waiting for all this to happen. And so the Scourge, then they're going to find the hideout where all the people were before. I forget what they're, the Listers. I believe those people or the demons were called the Listers. Anyways, uh, they see, he gets we see Angel then pop in while these guys are milling around and stuff like that. They've seen like the trap doors and stuff like that. Angel pops in now, and he has Doyle with him. He says the leader guy here is starting to give Angel shit about being a vampire and how they're the lowest of all the half breeds, even though Angel's here to offer up Doyle. He claims he wouldn't stoop to eating them and stuff like that. And then Angel claims, he can smell the humanity inside him and how he's grossed out by it, all the stuff like that, and claims to be better and faster than all of them at killing people. Then breaks Doyle's neck, which
Yeah.
is and legitimately does. Legitimately just breaks his neck. anyways, the Scourge then said, "Well, maybe we do have a use for this guy." And Angel, then they grab Angel, they take off. Rafe is gonna go and find Doyle somehow, who despite all the running he did. And this is the part I said was going to be weird. He does all this running around. He's in an alley. He's like by himself. Then he gets pulled in. That store was across the street. Like he literally did all this running around, somehow beat all these guys, and they couldn't find him very fast. It was across the street, Brennan. He just goes from one door to the other to find him.
Yes, that's how it
Oh
is.
my god. Anyways, good news. Doyle's fine. I guess when you're in demon form, or this kind of a bracken demon can get their necks snapped, I suppose, and then pop just back in and be a regular fella afterwards. Now you see Cordelia bargaining with the ship captain. Over what time they're going to launch, what time they're going to set off, and stuff like that. He tells her that instead of the 50%, Cordy said Angel promised to cut what he owes him, make it 60, and he'll
Uh-huh.
wait, which is fine by her, as Angel actually told her to forgive the debt. You know what I mean? So she's keeping a little 40%. Just in case Angel Investigations ever need it. And then we see the leader guy again going up to thank her and thanking Angel Investigations for all that they've done, especially Doyle. Gets it best as he's a half demon. So this is how Cordelia finds out the truth about Doyle. The Scourge are now gathered, numbered in their teens. I'm sorry, like there's like 14 or 15 of these guys.
Yeah, not
And
too much of the threat, are they?
they sure had a lot of trucks and stuff, though. I can tell you that.
That's
Anyway,
true.
yeah, the leader is giving a speech again, akin to a poorly mustachioed jerk from
Yep,
again in the 20th century,
yep.
who yeah, you all know what that asshole was all about. Anyways, Angel's now dressed up like one of them, like he's in Indiana Jones. For goodness sake. The leader guy worries if they don't stop the diluted blood vermin, they might as well be humans themselves, which doesn't sound good for no, if you're one of them, I suppose. He then does the whole hand saluting stuff. Well, honestly, oh boy. He then brings out that first mate. Turns out they got a lucky break that first mate from that ship knew all about what was going on with these Lister folks. And he sold them out to the Scourge. And he's gonna get rewarded by witnessing the beacon.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's much for reward. It's like the Scourge's version of the final solution, it seems. It's a big cube of light with a bunch of switches on it to turn it on. Turns
Mm.
out its light will destroy any half breed it touches or human being, it seems as well. And then when it gets turned up to full power and blows, it's going to nuke everything in a quarter-mile radius. I got to test this thing first, though. So, yeah, they grab the sailor boy, and yeah, a lot like Raiders of the Lost Ark, this guy just melts. This guy is, yeah. Well, I don't want to say he had it coming, Brennan.
Yep.
I don't know how to finish the rest of that sentence. You know what I mean? And this guy had it coming, even if these guys are jerks. So, anyways, when this happens, then they're going to cut to a commercial. And the cheesiest edit, maybe, well, definitely so far in the show, maybe in the history of the show, happens now, where you see the Scourge taking off and Vent Face Angel turning in. Everything's starting to go a little slow motion and intercut real fast with things. I couldn't stand it. Love the episode. Just this 15 seconds or whatever here to go to this particular ad break drives me nuts. I don't know why. I have to get it out. I have to let people know. Brendan, I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you that. So, these Scourge now are on the run. Some reason, like even just to double down on who these guys are supposed to be, the Scourge. One of them has a World War II motorcycle. Why don't you just have that in Los Angeles in 1999. Anyways, doesn't matter. Angel's going to take that thing. We get to see Doyle and Reef now get to the ship. Cordy's going to tell Doyle that they were all worried, then slaps them. You know, he broke the no secrets rule. They had a strict no secrets rule.
Yep.
Yeah, he said he was afraid she'd reject him. She can't believe he thought she'd care about that. You know, never mind all the times she's badmouthed demons. Every single episode, it seems. Anyways, then ask if he thinks that she's superficial, and we get a really nice little look here from Doyle and stuff. I thought it was very good. And then suggests that him being, short and poor are way above him being half demon on the rejection scale. Which is
Ah, yes, Cordelia.
Yeah, there's Miss Chase, and then tells them to ask her out for dinner. That isn't like Cordy at all. I guess Doyle finally broke her down by lying to her, I suppose. Anyways, he's gonna start to ask her to dinner, but Angel's gonna arrive now. Somehow decides to change on his way there. He's like, guys, I know I'm in a hurry, but if I show up in this uniform, people are gonna say, what the hell? So I get it. I understand why he changed. I have no problem with it. Now, he's talked to the captain. He says, got to shove off. He says, well, I can't, waiting for my first mate. It's like, well, there's no reason to wait for that guy. He's a puddle of soup right now, my friend. But the Scourge has arrived. Doyle wants the refugees now. Angel's going to start fighting these guys. He has no trouble with four of them. He beats the hell out of four of them, but the one he was like with in line, and the same guy that was at the apartment with the trap door or whatever, it's giving him a bit more of a struggle. And they're going to end up breaking down their door. They're going to fall down the stairs into where the refugees are.
Yep.
Meanwhile, I guess the other Scourge had somehow, in remarkably fast fashion, gotten a winch, attached the beacon, brought it aboard ship, and are now luring it into the refugee pit area where they were going to go. I don't know how this is all.
Yeah, that's a very detailed plan.
Yeah, they did, and remarkably fast. They are quite efficient. Say what you will about the Scourge, they know how to get a deadly instrument like that into a place in record time. So Angel's, this thing is gonna start blowing and stuff like that. This thing turn on. Everything's gonna go kaplow. Angel's telling everyone to evacuate. It's like that Scourge guys. Now, 2 broken necks for Angel in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
This one I think sticks. This one is gonna stick, so don't worry about that. They discover now, no one can get out. They're all locked in. He tells Doyle what it'll do. Angel then, is the noble guy. He volunteers to do the hero thing. He sacrificed himself to turn it off. That's when Doyle repeats what we said in the beginning. You'll never know what you'll do until tested.
Yep.
Then punches Angel off the ledge. Gives Cordy a huge kiss.
Oh, yes.
This time we see a blue light traveling between them. There was a spark between them. But as we've said on Rewatchers Council Angel Edition, Buffy the Vampire Slayer Edition, live Thursdays, guys, right here. Let's Get Ready Network. Whenever you see a little magic thing going on and stuff like that, it's usually not great. Usually not great. So we're gonna have to see what happens now that Cordy has this blue thing enter. So he tells her it's too bad that they'll never know if this is a face he could learn to love as he turns to the spiking thing. I didn't like the way that he turns into his Bracken self in this one either. Now, Angel's yelling at him, but Doyle is going to jump onto the beacon. It begins melting away. His face like Raider style. He's switching. You see him with the blue spiky face. You see his human face. Then his face is starting to get very red now. He's got the plug I guess just a simple plug. Somebody plugged this thing in to give it power, and he finally unplugs it. But as he does, he evaporates into nothingness.
Yep.
Then we see Cordy and Angel hug each other. They go back to the office. They start just watching Doyle's ad once again. So the last words on the show that Doyle says once again is that done. Just a kind of a sad way for
Yeah.
character to
My
go
bad.
out, but he was a hero after all. So see you later, Doyle. I grew to like. I think that's a nice thing to say. I grew to like Doyle. I wasn't a big fan of him, especially at the beginning of the first few episodes of the show.
Ah, yes.
So it's sad to see him go, but chin up, Brennan. Chin up, old man.
Mm-hmm.
Someone familiar is going to be coming to LA, and now he's a rogue demon hunter.
Okay.
Of all things, parting gifts. It's the next episode we'll cover. Rewatchers Cancel Angel Edition. Brennan, bittersweet episode
Indeed.
to cover. I'm glad I got to talk to you about it. Now, if you could do me a favor, just tell everybody what you're up to over in the internet at large.
You can find me on Blue Sky at draenor.bluesky.social.
Sure.
You can find me on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube at Page Turners They Were Not.
Very good. And guys, lots of things going on here. Let's Get Ready Network. First off, we got Rewatchers canceled with this very episode. Angel, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We got, of course, got the flagship Buffy the Vampire Slayer that comes live Thursdays. We also have MCU Rewatchers canceled. That happens Saturdays. Justin, big part with that. I don't know. What's the movie that came after Avengers? Is that Guardians of the Galaxy? Is that what
No,
that
it
is?
was either Thor the Dark World or Iron Man 3.
Oh, well, that's what they'll be covering this weekend on MCU's version of the Rewatchers Cancel, guys. No LGRN after start this weekend. We'll get back to it here pretty soon.
According to our trends, it's Iron Man 3. That's right.
There you go. Iron Man 3. Oh, is that the one with Sam Rockwell? I think it is. Sam Rockwell.
No, that's the second one.
Oh, Sam. Oh, geez. Which one's 3? Oh, that's the one with
one.
Is that the one with all the Iron Men? The Iron Shield?
I forget. I've only seen it once.
I saw it in the theaters. I think that's the only time I saw it. Anyways, go and follow this very network. Get the subscribe. Put the notifications on. You'll get to know all these things. And if you know MCU better than me, which most of you probably do, you'll probably be shaking your fist at me for not knowing the plot of Iron Man 3.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, thank you so much once again for watching / listening. We'll be back, maybe a happier episode next time here on Angel. I like to say, in the words of Doyle, Francis Doyle. We'll see you all again next time.